Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a past life regression session with a volunteer called Laura. And Laura volunteered, she had worked with me before, but she wanted to volunteer for the past life regression hypnosis. Had no experience with past life regression, but was curious about it. And one of the things that I believe that past life regression could be quite useful for is if you resolve something in a past life that, metaphorically speaking, it can help in your current life. And a lot of hypnotherapists believe that to be true, that actually if there's something that you don't know what the cause of the problem is, or you don't want to think about the cause of the problem, then a past life gives a safe place for you to either extract wisdom or find a resolution. So in this particular past life hypnosis session, Laura goes back to a childhood in what she thinks is Ireland, agricultural, probably farm, lots of animals. And it's evident in this past life that there's a bereavement, there's a loss, probably someone that was a caregiver in some way. And that in the original version of the life, she has to become very independent and very stubborn in many ways. But that didn't lead to a happier future in that timeline. So we explore a different timeline, a timeline where she can be discerning, but is open to help and assistance from other people. And because of that, it leads to a much happier life. And the key insight for this for her is that perhaps that she's trying to be too independent. And there is a bit of a narrative in many, you see it in social media, you see it in the mainstream media. For men, it's always been there, but there is an increasing narrative that women need to be strong and independent. And if that's a choice, absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's very empowering. But if it feels like an obligation, or if it feels like it's shameful or guilty or unsafe to have assistance or help, then that could be disempowering rather than empowering. I'm a big believer in options and choices. So this hypnosis session was designed to explore a past life, but also within the context of this session, it had the possibility of opening a closed door to create choice where there was a limitation before, which is, I think, all things being equal, it's better to have more options than less options, and it's better to have more choices than less choices. I'm still going to do a few more I think past life regression volunteer sessions. Probably not going to do that many more, just because I've collated about almost 10 kind of volunteer examples, which I think is enough for me to kind of put together the materials I need to pitch the idea of this TV show that I'm working on. So if you are curious, if you feel that you would like to volunteer, this is probably going to be the last time that the window opens for volunteers. There will be a link in the show notes to fill out a form to request a volunteer. I can't guarantee that everyone that requests a volunteer will be able to volunteer. But if you don't volunteer, then it will definitely not lead to anything, whereas at least it might if you do volunteer. I think that's it from me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place to relax and switch off any devices that might disturb you, and enjoy. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And with your eyes closed, feel a sense of tension or stress leaving your body in your outward breath. Simply by breathing in and breathing out, you're able to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. And maybe there's tension in your forehead, maybe your jaw, maybe some tightness around the neck or the shoulder. But as you breathe in and breathe out, feel that it's okay to release that tension. And the tension released, you breathe in a feeling of resourcefulness, enabling you to gradually, breath by breath, start to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a dusty old library. And maybe it's a very old library. But I want you to imagine row upon row of books. Big, thick, old books, leather bound. And old books have a smell to them. So as you imagine yourself in that old, dusty library, imagine you're surrounded by rows of books, the smell of the paper. And I want you to be called to a particular part of the library, a particular shelf. And I want you to imagine there is a shelf of books that seem to be going older and older to the left and more modern to the right. And maybe there's 10 books or 50 or 100. But I want you to get a sense that each book represents one of your past lives. And the book all the way on the right, the newest book, is the smallest book, an unfinished book that represents your life so far. But now is not the time to explore your current life. Now is the time to investigate one of your past lives to enable wonderful, positive changes to take place in your current life. And maybe you've heard of the phenomenon of dowsing, where dowsers can hold rods, walk over land, and pick up on subtle sensations where water is beneath them. And I want you to imagine holding your hands out in front of you and walking past this row of books, each book representing a past life. And I want you to get the sense that one of these past lives had a moment, an experience, where you being open-minded and flexible, a moment where you needed help and assistance from others, a life where being flexible and open-minded helped in that particular life. So as you feel your hands, perhaps gently touching the spine of each of these books, one of the books will almost feel like it has an energy to it. That the book is calling you, wanting you to explore that life. Maybe because there's something to learn, or there is unfinished business, an unresolved issue in that life. And as you feel your fingertips and you feel the energy of these books, one of the books will almost feel like it's magnetically drawn to you. And when you feel called to one of those books, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine taking the book out of the bookshelf, feeling the weight of that book. And imagine nearby is a very comfortable chair and a big old table. And I want you to imagine walking to that chair, putting the book down on the table, and imagine flipping over the pages. And I want you to look at the beginning of the book. The beginning of the book describes your birth, your early childhood. And I want you to imagine, just as you have done in the past when you've read a book, sometimes the words turn into pictures and movies in your mind, and you feel like you're a character in the story. And maybe this book has illustrations, drawings, pictures of landscapes, maybe a town or a village. And if you get a sense of where this life is based, let me know by nodding your head. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine your physical body stays in the chair, feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. But your mind is willing to shift location and go into the book. And to begin with, I just want you to observe a childlike version of you in a different place and a different time. And maybe it takes a few moments for you to become aware of where you are. But I want you to see yourself as a small child in this location. And when you get a sense that you can see that younger version of you in a different life, in a different time, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine, once you're convinced that this child is safe, in no danger, then it's time to shift location again and feel like you are now in the body of the child, seeing the world that you lived in back then through the eyes of a child. And when you feel like you are safely back in that life as a child, let me know by nodding your head. And although you might be feeling relaxed, deep in your imagination, you can talk. And I want you to describe where it feels like you are and whether you feel like you're a boy or a girl.
So, I'm a girl and I have really long hair, really dark long hair, and I'm in a field.
And do you get a sense of where in the world you might be living?
Island.
And what are the clues around you that you might be living in Ireland?
I don't know. Islands just come into my mind.
I want you to look around for any clues of buildings or maybe clothes that are being worn.
Yeah, there's just fields, there's just fields, there's nothing else around, just me and just fields. I'm in a dress and I have really long hair That's all my hair's like, I'm amazed by how long my hair is.
And how old do you think you are in this time of your life?
I would say I'm about 8.
And do you feel happy? Do you feel content at this age?
I think she feels scared.
Do you know what she might be scared of all the way back then?
I think the world.
I want you to imagine walking back to whatever you consider home back then. And just observe what you see and tell me what you see.
Animals.
What kind of animals do you see?
Horses, butterflies, ladybirds. No dogs. There's not any dogs. Sheep.
Can you describe this home for me?
It's hard to see.
Are you seeing it from the outside or on the inside?
I'm outside. I can't really see much of a home. I can just see animals.
Yeah. Can you see any people that you might identify as family?
I can see... Yeah, I can see a lady, like, who's quite mothering. She has, like, short hair. She's quite plump. She seems warm. Like, I can see, like, she seems approachable. She likes to cook. I can't really see anyone else.
I want you to go to the place that you would sleep. Maybe a bed, maybe a mattress, maybe something else. And when you find that place, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine taking a rest there, knowing that when you wake up, you might not be in the same bed and you won't be in the same age. I want you to rest and relax. And when it feels like your eyes are closed there in that place of rest, let me know by nodding your head. And now what I want you to do is imagine that you're going deeper and deeper relaxed to move to a different time in this life. Perhaps to the time of the life that you would consider the most significant time in the life. Perhaps the most intense emotions. Something happened in this life that either needs resolving or that you can learn from. I want you to imagine in a few seconds' time you will awaken, but you will awaken at a new age on a day of great significance. When you're ready to awake at this new age, let me know by nodding your head. And how old do you feel like you are now?
12.
Tell me what you see.
Horses.
And I want you to go through the day until this significant thing happens, and then describe what you see, describe what happens.
I think someone's died. I feel a male figure's died.
Yeah.
And I feel the horses, I think the horses are there to protect me.
Right.
It seems quite gloomy, like it seems cold.
Yeah.
And gloomy. Someone's died.
And the horses are agitated or just aware?
No, the horses are calm.
And you're surrounded by horses, or the horses are just near you?
The horses are near me, but there is other people around. There's lots of people around.
These people are safe, or they're a threat?
No, they're safe. Yeah, they're safe. They're just, I'm on a field again. They're just doing their own thing. They're like harvesting.
Yeah.
Like picking flowers.
You're on a farm, someone's died, and you're near the horses. And then go forward in time, maybe later that day, or maybe the next most significant event, and tell me what happens then.
She's left alone.
And that mothering figure, she's still around, or she's not there anymore?
She can't be seen at the moment.
So maybe you're 12 years old. Does it feel like there is a responsibility to fend for yourself?
Yeah.
And how does that feel?
Scary.
And is your instinct that you need to do it yourself? Or is your instinct to find help, to find people that can help you?
Just to do it myself.
And I want you to imagine going forward in this life, fending for yourself. And let me know if that gives you a satisfying, enjoyable life.
No.
I want you to imagine going all the way back to that day when you were 12 years old. You lost someone, perhaps a provider, a caregiver, but a new idea pops into your head. That you are open to help, open to assistance, vigilant, not trusting everyone, but willing to make decisions, take advice, to be willing to take help if it's needed. And if you're okay to explore a new timeline with this thought in mind, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to follow that life now on that new trajectory. And let me know what changes when there's that flexibility, openness, vulnerability. Let me know what happens.
She's now older and she's on a yacht.
Wow. How old?
Mid-20s, early 20s. Young, but yeah, early 20s, I'd say.
And do you feel happier in this life?
She does.
And what can you extract? What wisdom, what insight can you glean from this life?
everywhere's just really bright. Like everything, like it's like it feels like I'm like I don't know what this is, like you know, like those films where like really old-fashioned photo films where you flick the photos and it's like there's loads of photos keep coming through, like memories, and they're like really like bright, vibrant, like there's loads, like there's just of the world, like there's just loads.
And in this body, in this older age, would you consider help, assistance as a weakness or as a gateway to new opportunities and new adventures?
This girl doesn't see it as a weakness. No, she doesn't see it as a weakness.
And do you feel like you're observing or in her body?
Observing.
Yeah, I want you to step into her world.
Okay.
So you can feel what it feels like to feel that help can be beneficial. That there's a time and a place. Some people believe that if it's going to be, it's up to me, but I want you to imagine that this person feels something different. And maybe many of the experiences and opportunities have come from doors that only opened not through stubbornness, not through fierce independence, but through flexibility, perspective, connections, relationships, friendships. And if it feels like you can tap into that insight, that way of thinking, let me know by nodding your head.
Not fully.
There's resistance. There's an inner dialogue, thought, or block coming up. Tell me what that is.
She just can't believe it. Like she can't, I can't really, it's loss keeps coming up, like loss of, I don't know what, but just loss.
Yeah. Do you feel it's safe to ask for help?
Yeah.
So I want you to think, what are you losing? Do you feel like you're losing your independence? Does it feel like you're losing connection to someone else?
I think connection to someone else, it feels bizarre, like strange.
I want you to imagine that young girl that lost someone important on their original life thought that asking for help from anyone else was betraying that person that meant so much to them. But in this new timeline, they had a different belief. A belief that asking for help gives an opportunity for other people to feel good, to make a difference. Everyone wants to make a difference in the world. And in this new way of thinking, she provided other people with a doorway to make that difference. In this new reality, there was no betraying of the past. It honored the past because that past person would have wanted them to live a good life. And I want you to imagine that You can honor the connection of the past by living your best life. And the very best life is always full of connection, collaboration, interaction, and not dependency, but interdependency. And if you're open to that new way of thinking, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine taking that thought and going forward into the life and seeing that impact of not just receiving help, cultivating relationships, but benefiting from those relationships. And if it feels like this new way of thinking serves you, let me know by nodding your head. It's time to leave this life now. So I want you to imagine, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and you're going to imagine you're back in that chair looking at that book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to place that old dusty book back on the bookshelf, but pick up one final book, the book of your current life. Sit back down, and I want you to flick through future pages that you haven't lived yet. But I want you to see those pages where there's less stubbornness and more openness to help when it's offered. And if you can see that new future, let me know by nodding your head. You're not betraying anyone. And by being discerning, you're not creating any risk or danger. You have all the wisdom from the past, but you are now opening doorways into new possibilities. And as you place that book back on the shelf, you feel that your own future is brighter, more possibilities, more opportunities. It feels exciting and wonderful. And then feel like you're returning to the present, taking all these new ideas, new ways of thinking with you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. As you awaken, you will feel alert, confident, open to wonderful new possibilities. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Okay, so hypnosis is finished. I'm still recording. Do you know what's frustrating?
What?
I recorded the audio, but not the video.
No.
But don't worry, the audio is the important thing. Tell me what your thoughts were on that, Laura.
So interesting, because do you know what I've noticed? I noticed this last time, actually, when you hypnotised me. My eyes really flicker. Is that normal? Is that like...
Flickering eyes is a symptom of kind of what you would call REM sleep. So when you've probably seen people sleeping every now and their eyes kind of dart around. Eye movement is a reflection of, let's say, internal senses. So if I was to say, right, close your eyes and imagine running through a forest, your eyes would dart from left to right. That happens a lot in very visual dream sleep, REM sleep. So if you're in that place, it just means that you're activating that kind of similar kind of experience to what people would call a lucid dream or REM sleep, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That was interesting. Really interesting, actually.
Is there anything that came up that surprised you in any way?
Yeah, well, this young girl was from Ireland, so this I don't know where that come from, like, and I don't think I've got anyone in my family that's from Ireland. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, there might be, some ancestors. I don't know whether it surprised me. I don't know. I was quite surprised that I could be quite imaginative. So like that this come up, if that makes sense. So I was quite shocked that I don't really know what I expected. Like, I don't know what was expecting from it. So yeah, I was quite surprised that come up. And the fact that there were so many animals were like everywhere. I was like, what is this? Like animals and fields like everywhere.
Well, I guess throughout history, most kind of most of the population up until the last kind of 150 years, we were agricultural. You know, we didn't live in cities. Cities are fairly recent creation, so you know, not surprising that, particularly in Ireland, because there isn't very major, you know, many big cities. So it's highly likely that it would have been agricultural in nature. So seeing the horses and things kind of makes sense. The flowers was confusing because I don't imagine people think of flowers coming from Holland and that kind of stuff rather than Ireland, but, you know, not impossible that there was flowers being grown there. What did it feel like either seeing or being that kind of child going through that kind of adversity of loss?
So I could feel that quite a lot. So quite emotional. So I could feel it. So I felt like I could really feel it. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I felt like I could really feel it.
Yeah. You were dipping in between association and disassociation. So when you were describing certain animals and what you were seeing in front of you, I could tell you were associated. Unfortunately, the video recording wasn't there, but I could see there was a tear at one point, I think, when you were evaluating either this kind of maternal figure or the kind of paternal kind of caregiver. But then later on, you were disassociated because you kept using she rather than I, if that makes sense. So you were kind of probably flipping into a first person to a third person perspective. But it does seem that in the first experience of being older, that kind of stubborn independence didn't really serve you well. Did you get any more insight from that?
No.
Just a feeling that it was a hard life.
Yeah, it was really. In what part? Sorry,
So that original, when you were kind of like, you know, kind of the future. I think kind of 14 or so, where clearly you'd lost a caregiver, someone that was caring for you, and then there was that kind of future where being stubborn or being independent led you to feel quite. I think sad was the word you used, but it felt from your facial expression like it was a tough life.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I remember. But then when I was doing the I can't even remember, it's so weird that I can't remember. Is that weird or?
Well, in the same way that when people wake up from a dream, initially they've got quite a good recollection of the dream, and then it's almost like Men in Black, the memory goes pretty fast. It kind of disappears quite quickly. But from recollection, what you said is, because we tried two different timelines in the same life, a timeline of kind of stubborn independence and a timeline of kind of being open to help and assistance. And that new future seemed like it was a lot more kind of fun, bright and adventurous. There was lots more experiences going on.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that kind of instantly flipped because it was like really dark and sad to then really bright and happy. And that was full. It was an empty. Like, it didn't feel like empty. It felt quite. Yeah, like it didn't feel like before, like what it felt like before you asked me to kind of like switch, or like when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, kind of felt what personal insight did you get from seeing those two different ways of living?
Well, sorry, actually, so I don't know whether it was like, it just kind of felt like me. So I don't know whether it was more, I don't know, it was really strange. Like, I can't really explain it, like whether it felt, because it wasn't like my situations, but it kind of felt like me. I don't know, like, I don't know. I could emphasize, I guess. And that's what makes me think, like, was it just me? Like, was it just like, or was it something like, I don't know, like.
I mean, there's different theories. So one theory is that, past life regression is just you imagining your current self in a different time in a different place. The other theories are that, your soul never dies. It just has a different vessel, that each life is a vessel that you happen to exist in. And there is this theory that lessons not learnt in one lifetime, roll over into future lifetimes, that until you learn the lesson in whatever the life is, it kind of repeats like a storyline, life after life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the weird thing was that little girl didn't feel like me. So the little girl didn't feel like me, if that makes sense. Like, it felt like, I don't know, I can't really describe it. Like, it felt like it wasn't me, but it was, I could empathize with, like, I could feel her pain, but it wasn't me. Like, it didn't feel like it was, I don't know, I can't really describe it. I can't really, and I can't explain it.
Obviously, like, that was the hypnosis session. Now that you're out of the hypnosis session, is there any kind of differences that you feel, or any insights that you think will actually help you in your day-to-day life now?
Yeah, I feel like definitely to be more open, because I know that is something, like, obviously being stubborn and closed off, and there's a lot of things I don't let. Yeah, I think it's just being more kind of aware of, like, actually that, it's come from somewhere that I'm like that. So I guess being more aware, like, I can see that actually I can kind of, I don't have to be like that.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to share before we kind of bring it to an end?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, I'll stop the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.